Hello everyone, I'm Chef Roy. I'm here today to introduce you to food which is healthy for you. Now, how can we say that something is healthy? The most important thing is always the source of the food. Where does the food that you eat actually come from? Now today I would like to introduce you to a type of pork called Berkcious Berkshire pork. As you can see here, there are two slices of pork, and we can see clearly that the one here is Berkcious pork. The other slab of pork is regular pork from a white domestic pig which we can easily buy from the market. Let's take a closer look at Berkcious pork. First of all, it's rare to find pork that has these beautiful 3 layers, and its color looks a lot more appetizing than the usual pork. Most importantly, Berkcious pork does not contain muscle building drugs, antibiotics, or growth hormones. Now let's look at these neck cuts here. This one is from Berkcious pork, and the other one is the usual pork from a white domestic pig. One of the key areas to look at is marbling. Compared to the pork from the white domestic pig, Berkcious pork has a more distinctive, clearly defined marbling. Its meat is more tender, and it smells savory too. The regular pork, on the other hand, does not have the same quality of texture and color as the Berkcious pork. The reason for this big difference is that white domestic pigs take only 6 months to be fully grown, while a Berkshire pig takes up to 9 months. Speaking of the breeding environment of the Berkshire pigs, they grow up on meadows. They're given a lot of space to run around freely, keeping them healthy, and they're also kept clean and cool as they can't really tolerate heat. As for their food, they're fed cereal grains, grass, and fruits, and they're even given probiotics to improve their digestion. Their living environment is very clean and well kept. These pigs run freely on vast meadows and are quite active, as you can see, making their bodies and their meat firmer. They're also given frequent showers to keep them cool, and all of this means that they grow up healthily. This is why you can safely enjoy Berkcious Berkshire pork. Now I'd like to cook you a dish using a cut of pork neck using these very simple steps. So here goes. First of all, let's add some shallots. Crush the shallots and place them in the bowl. The sauce that we're going to make here is great for barbecuing all kinds of meat. This is English mustard. Combine and mix the shallots and the mustard well. English mustard is very salty, so I'll also ask you to add some sugar here. And just keep stirring until the sugar is mixed thoroughly. When it comes to the shallots, don't add water while you crush them, or the sauce will become too watery, and we don't want that, because then the sauce will not be able to coat the meat nicely. Now I'm just going to get you to take these beautiful cuts of meat here and just coat it gently with the sauce that we've just made. Just take your time here. Make sure that every single slice you put in is coated all around and evenly. And you'll also notice that the meat is sliced so thinly that you don't need to marinate it for hours like you would a bigger piece of meat. Just marinate it and it's ready to grill instantly. Now the sauce that we have here is just about good enough for around 10 slices of pork neck. And you may also be wondering, do I have to use English mustard for the sauce? No, you don't. The shallots here are very versatile, and one combination which I particularly like is using fermented bean curd with it, because I think it's great for grilling and barbecuing. Regardless of what you put the shallots with, however, its function is to create a savory aroma and to make that sauce less thick as well. Alright, that's perfect. Next, heat up the grill pan. Turn up that heat and add a little bit of oil. Not too much, because the pork already contains lard. See this slice here? It's so thin that it really doesn't need to be grilled for too long. It'll be cooked very quickly. I can see the pork here being cooked in front of my eyes. Wow! Smells so tempting. I'm also noticing that the pork is being cooked fast on one side. So I'm just going to pick it up. Turn it over and grill the other side. You can see now that the pork looks pretty done, but I'm just going to let it sit here for a little while more just to make sure that it's really cooked thoroughly. That looks great. Hello everyone. Next I'd like to show you how to cook pork ribs. With Berkshire's pork ribs, we can see that the bones are thicker and larger because the pigs take longer to become fully grown. Also, you can see that its color appears darker and therefore looks more appetizing as well. So for this stunning slab of ribs, I'm going to steam it to savor its original taste. So today I will cook a dish called gold and silver garlic steamed pork ribs, a popular traditional dish. Now besides steaming, we can also barbecue this slab of pork ribs. And whether you want to barbecue the ribs as a whole, barbecue the ribs after deboning, or grill after deboning and marinating, it doesn't matter. The taste will be equally amazing. We've now chopped the pork into smaller pieces. We didn't show you that because the chopping involves a lot of tedious work and it's not so appealing to watch. But getting the right size is very important, however. Try to chop the pork into small pieces like this. Pieces of this size are easier for steaming and also for removing the bones later. So why do we call it gold silver garlic? Well, this is silver garlic, which is raw garlic, and this is golden garlic, which is fried garlic. Why are we using gold and silver garlic? Well, if I just use the raw garlic, it will create a slightly pungent taste. If, on the other hand, I just use the fried garlic, the taste will be slightly bitter. But if we combine them together, the flavors are balanced and it will taste just right. Now, let's add some salt, some sugar, and some light soy sauce. Don't add too much of the soy sauce because it'll turn the pork too dark. Then add some cooking rice wine. Now stir and mix them well. Take note that you shouldn't marinate the meat if you're going to steam it because it'll make the meat too tough. In fact, whatever it is that you're steaming, even if it's fish or chicken, do not marinate it. Instead, stir the pork with the marinating sauce and cook it immediately after. Now that we've stirred our mix well, we can add some fried garlic and some silver garlic too. Continue to stir this. Stir until everything is mixed well. Then, when it's well mixed, just add some starch into the mix. Potato starch or cornstarch are both fine. The point of this is to lock the juices inside and keep the meat juicy. Now continue to stir it. Take note that the starch may also make the meat stick together after being cooked. So the question is, how do we prevent this? In order to stop this from happening, we may need to add some oil here. After adding the oil, stir the mixture again. Now, when it's cooked, the meat will not stick to the pan, and the slices of meat will not stick to one another either. Preparation is now officially done. Let's pour it into the bowl. Now the meat is ready to be cooked, and we've prepared a steaming pot here so that we can put it inside to start steaming. What we want to do here is to steam it until the bones can be easily removed. So we need about 30 minutes. Once it's done, sprinkle some chopped green onions on top and also add some red chili peppers just for its color. And now your gold and silver garlic steamed pork ribs are ready to be served. Hello everyone. Now today I'd like to introduce you to another cut of pork, which is the pork loin. Now the pork loin is thinner than other pork cuts, but it also has richer flavors. So what I like to do with it is to cook porridge. Now cooking porridge is not particularly hard, but we can't say it's that easy either. What it requires, however, is smart technique. Why is that? Well, firstly, getting the right rice can be tricky. I personally like to use pearl rice as it is sweet and sticky. And I also find that porridge cooked using pearl rice also turns up more radiant. So I would recommend that you use it for your porridge. The steps to cooking porridge are actually pretty straightforward. The most important thing is to make sure that the water is fully boiled. After the water is boiled, pour the rice in slowly. And now you basically don't have to worry about it, because the boiling heat makes sure that the rice will not stick to the bottom of the pot. Another tip here, if you want to make sure that the rice pops and cooks faster, you'll need to add some salt in, as that will increase the temperature of the water. So, let's add some salt. And if you want to make the porridge smoother, it's also a good idea to add some oil. The rice will soak up the oil, ensuring a smoother texture for your porridge. As for the meat, I personally like to put it in without adding anything else. Just put it in and let it cook for about 45 minutes before taking it out. By then, it'll be cooked just right. So that's it. Let's check back in an hour and a half. Now this pork loin, besides being useful when cooking porridge, is also great when making pork chops. So if you want to make pork chops, I've got a very simple technique for you to follow. Just take your knife and use the back of it to tenderize the pork chop. Then turn it over. Keep going all the way until the meat is tender. Besides pork chops, you can also use pork loin for cooking sweet and sour pork. To do this, just chop the pork into smaller bits, marinate it and stir fry. You can also slice the loin thinly and stir fry it with ginger and scallions. All in all, pork loin can be used to make many different dishes, and that's all because of its rich flavor and texture. It's been an hour and a half since we put our porridge in, and now it's cooked perfectly. The good thing about this meat is that it cooks well at the same time as the porridge, and that means that the porridge can soak up all the flavors of the meat. Next, I'd like to share with you a great way to cook pork belly. When I see this Berkshire pork belly, I'm reminded of traditional braised pork belly. So I'm going to cook that for you today. Now when it comes to braised pork, some people like to cut it into larger pieces, while others prefer in smaller pieces. I personally prefer larger cuts. And when cutting this Berkshire pork belly here, I can feel in my hands that the meat is firmer, unlike the usual pork from white domestic pigs. So I'm sure at this point that the texture after braising it will also be amazing. Please take note that the pieces you cut must be around the same size, because if they're not, then some pieces will become too tough and others will become too soft when you cook it. Basic knife skills are very important here. We start with the scallions at the bottom. Add about ½ an inch of cinnamon. Then add some cloves. Around 5 cloves is good. This is star anise. Around 2 will do. Don't add too much of these spices because they can really scald your tongue. This is thick soy sauce. Just pour it in because there's already a lot of scallions at the bottom. Then add some cooking rice wine. Smells lovely. Lastly, some light soy sauce. This will make the dish smell more pleasing. And it really is that simple. All you need to do is add in these 6 ingredients, and then we're ready to add in the pork. Now with the pork, it's best to place it carefully so that you ensure it's cooked well from all sides. If you don't do this, some parts of the pork may be undercooked. To make sure that we measure the cooking time accurately, it's also best to add some boiling water into the pot. And as it's already boiling now, and we can come back to this in an hour and 15 minutes time. Wow, the dish is finally ready. And the color looks absolutely gorgeous. I'm gonna pick it up and squeeze it, and now I can tell that it has a really firm texture. However, I still don't know how it will taste. So let's find out now. Such rich pork flavors. The fat tastes spicy and refreshing. It's tender, but not too soft, different from the usual white pork that we eat. And its skin has a good elasticity, and you can tell that it soaked up all the flavors of the soy sauce. Wow, this Berkshire's pork tastes so good that I honestly can't find the perfect words to describe it. I can only say that it's truly amazing. Welcome to the Berkshire's Pig Farm, where rearing superior pig's meat is our mission every single day. Since 2012, we have raised premium 100% pure Berkshire pigs here in Kampar, Perak. These are the finest pigs available to man, descendants of a rare breed originating from the English country of Berkshire and selectively bred over centuries by the most experienced pig farmers in the UK, USA, and Japan. They are certified by the American Berkshire Association and offer the best quality in the market, bar none. Here at the farm, we give these princely pigs everything they need to develop happily and healthily, including access to a wide pasture, a balanced and nutritious diet, and the freedom to socialize with their peers. We believe that the natural way is the only way, and we say no to antibiotics, growth hormones, and muscle drugs, and yes to rearing pigs the right way, starting with their daily feed. Unlike domestic white pigs, who have a standard diet of corn and soybeans, our pigs at Berkshire's are fed molasses and fermented feed, ensuring maximum nutritional intake and optimal marbling of fat. As the saying goes, you are what you eat, and this is never more true than with pigs, who distribute food to their muscle fiber, infusing their meat with the taste of what they consume. Although this premium diet costs more to provide, it offers many benefits over the meat of domestic white pigs, including a higher degree of tenderness, better water holding capacity with lower drip loss, a darker and richer meat color, and a higher quality and juicier loin, with a high percentage of intramuscular fat. Our pigs are truly a special breed. As ABA certified 100% pure Berkshire pigs, they are the original heritage pig, recognized for their eating qualities in England over 300 years ago and prized all over the world today. Their superior quality is proven by scientific tests, which have consistently revealed them to have the finest quality pork in the world. For the piglets on our farm, space to roam is essential to a well-rounded development. These piglets are enjoying one of our new pens, which provides plenty of shade and limits the impact of dampness, while drinking from the plentiful water supply available to them. They also enjoy the chance to socialize with other piglets, contributing to a well-balanced upbringing. Any upbringing, however, starts with mother, and unlike intensive commercial operations, at Berkshire's we do not restrict the access that piglets can have to their mother. Here at the nursery, piglets are raised in a caring and comfortable environment, suckling for a full 30 days and enjoying regular interaction with their mother. This maximizes the chance of the piglet developing into a healthy and strong pig in the future. Our pigs are our pride and our responsibility, and we stop at nothing to ensure that every little detail is looked after. We even give them daily showers so they can cope with the heat better. After all, it is the little things which make a big difference to our beloved Berkshire's pigs. And we know they make a difference to you too.